Okay, before my sister comes and give you our scripture opening.
Bless the Lord.
That's the Lord.
Thank God for his goodness and his word, which is filled with wisdom for today and tomorrow. Exodus 15 and 26 reads thus, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. Exodus 23 and verse 25 says, and ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee.
Thank you very much. That's our word of prayer. Father God, in Jesus' name we come. We thank you for sparing our unworthy lives to see another beautiful Sabbath afternoon and to be in your presence as we discuss your word and ways how we can take care of your body so that, Lord, you may be glorified in what we do, what we say, what we think, what we eat, and what we drink. Bless us, bless this program. May it be edifying to everyone. For Jesus' sake, amen. Okay, so the question was asked this morning if we can live disease free. And everyone said yes.
No, I didn't.
And those who say no, you are right too. So let's look at both of them, the rights and the wrongs of living disease free. I say we can. Okay? And sure enough. One scripture, the first one, was dealing with what? Prevention, is that right? If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord and do that which is right in his sight, and keep how many? All of his commandments, his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I've brought upon the Egyptians. For I am the Lord that healeth thee. So if he's the Lord, and we believe he's the Lord, yes, we can. Because he said so. He will put none of these diseases upon thee. But I will go further than that, and I will show you what we're talking about in terms of living disease free. All right. The other one, the other scripture is saying, and ye shall serve the Lord, and he will bless thy bread and thy water, and take sickness away from the midst of thee. So while one is prevention, the other one is what? Healing. Is that right? Because there are ways in which we can't do it for ourselves and we can come down with conditions, and God knows that way, and he says that I will take. Who knows Psalm 103? Bless the Lord and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Who forgiveth all your sins and healeth all of your diseases. So he healeth. You know, two people can be in a building that is laden with asbestos. One would come down with cancer, the other one wouldn't. You know that? And so when we talk about disease and death, it is important to note these two things. I'm going to give you two standard themes that I would like for you to really keep in mind and to hold dearly to yourself. Two standard themes. All right? Oh. Okay. It disappeared. Oh. the table. The table, but that's all right. The first one is, first standard theme is, okay. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, who could read that? You could read that? All right. Person's head. So life or health.
Life is a crown on a healthy person's head, but only a sick person can see. Oh.
Good. So give me, somebody tell me what is that saying? Life is a crown on a healthy person's head, but only a sick person can see it.
Yeah.
When you're sick, you can learn to appreciate health.
It is only when you are sick that you really can appreciate good health. It's like the football players, right? They all running out there and they want to get injured. You know, he so wishes he could be out there. He can't be out there, right? Because they're all healthy, right? So an ounce. So don't wait till you're sick to really see the value of your crown, or which is your health. Your health is your crown, right? All right. So we got some tissue to take this off, right? So let's get the second theme. That's a G, that's not a Q. Q goes the other way. All right, so read that for me and give me the interpretation. Give me your meaning.
Eat not what your eyes desire, but what your body requires. Eat not what your eyes desire, but what your body requires. Yeah.
Pardon me, self-explanatory.
Don't be greedy. Yes, it's greedy when your eyes desire your belly. You know you're not supposed to eat, but you're still going to eat to indulge and be gluttonous instead of giving your body what it requires as it's healthy. People don't want to eat salad, they don't want to eat fruits, but they want to eat kosher meat. Happy sugar.
I don't think it's about quantity, it's about quality. That's exactly.
No.
Right.
Even if you eat a bowl of rice that has a bunch of carbs at 10 o'clock in the night, as opposed to eating a bowl of fruit, it's the same quantity, but the quality is what your body needs.
Right.
I could eat fruit all day. It's not going to do anything bad to my body, but I could eat one big nasty burger.
So if you rule your life by taste and smell, that looks good, that's good. What your eyes desire, this is what I want, this is good. For me, tastes good. But it's not good for you because it's not what your body requires. And what is saying up there?
We are what we eat and absorb.
Exactly. So please keep this in mind. Make a note of that, okay? And keep that always as a standard theme for your life. This is very important. We are what we eat and absorb. All right? Okay, so we can get this off now. All right. Let's see. All right, there you go. Not going to be all off, man. I guess we got to get something little damp. Okay. So, life is a crown on a healthy person's head. Now, for us to understand disease and death we have to understand life. Is that right? Because if we know what is life, we would know what causes the disease and the death. So let's look at that first of all. This is very standard. Disease and death. You know, death, there are two things: death, dying, and death. Yes. 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 Death and dying. Those are two subjects in itself. We're going to go through, we're going to understand that. And so let us understand life. Okay? I'm going to give you three things. Now remember, we talked about three, right? That number three is vitally important. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, body, mind, and spirit, everything operates in threes, right? I'm writing the book, The Tridimensional Gospel. You will see where threes are very important, right? It's always three Hebrew boys, three this or three that, three, everything is three, all right? So there are three most important things that are responsible for life, all right? We will look at those three, and we would see that those same three elements that are responsible for life happens to be the same three that are responsible for disease and death. The pathological process of how they become our enemy is important to know. So once we know, we can prevent or we can reverse. And that's what the scientists will find out today. And you will be able to see what we are talking about exactly. If we follow this and we understand this, we could understand disease and death. We could understand healing and prevention. All right? So how did life start? Let's look at life. How did life start? Now, you all are supposed to be Assalamu alaikum. You're Muslims here? Or Shalom? Or Christians? Whether you're Muslim, Jews, or Christian, you believe in creation. Is that right? And you believe in Abraham. Okay. So how did life start? We saw it this morning. You know, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth and said, let us make man in our image. How did it start? He did what first? He formed man from the dust of the ground. Was man living or was he dead? No, he could not have been dead because there wasn't sin yet. Death come from? He wasn't dead, but he wasn't living. Because he didn't have. And God did what? Breathe the breath, and man became a living soul. All right. So what's the first element responsible for life? O2, right? You said that? Number one. After man become a living soul, what's the first concern he would have? Well, have you ever seen a calf born? What wait, it's all city boys and girls in here? Nobody? You not on Sesame Street now. You saw a real thing. A cow drop out and the calf drops out. Wobbles to his feet. What's the first place it goes? To the? Because of what? Food. Is that right? So after God formed man and created man, and man became a living soul, he said what? Behold, I've given you every herb that beareth seed, and every tree that with the fruit of it shall be meat or food for you. So what's the number two? Nutrients. All right. Now there is a number three, but we'll see where the number three is going to come from. Okay. So these same three. Well, let me just tell you what it is right away, so you can make your note and you understand it. It's enzymes. These three elements are responsible for life and its maintenance. The same three are responsible for disease and death. the process, the pathological process of how they become your enemy is important to know so that you can prevent or you can reverse. And this is what we are talking about today. How we can prevent or how we can reverse so that we can live disease-free. Okay? Now, for us to understand how they become our enemy, we have to understand who it's an enemy against and who it is. So we have to understand the person that is affecting, right? The person. So the human that is being affected, all humans are structured in 7 levels. Is 7 a perfect number? Always remember that number now. 7. We are structured in 7 levels. Man. First, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels. First, we are what? We are an atom. Second, we are molecules. Third, we are. Fourth, we are tissue. Fifth, we are seven, we are the organism. All right. So remember, we're talking about numbers, and it's very important in the Bible and with God. It's always structure and important. At which number is this person? 7 levels. At which level is the dynamics of this person? Everything happens.
Yes! I success!
Everything happens in the cells. So this big lump, nice bump, this person here is made up of over 100 trillion cells. And every last one of those cells is a powerhouse in itself. Has to get what? The oxygen and the nutrients must get into the cells. And in the cells, there are bodies. The main body is called the mitochondria. That is the manufacturing plant. It takes the oxygen and nutrients and manufactures something called ATP or adenotriphosphate, which is a fancy word for what? Energy. So for life, we need what? Energy. If you don't have energy, you don't have life. And you can only get energy from the manufacturing of oxygen and nutrients to the cells. Anyhow, these nutrients, they are macro. They cannot pass the cell barrier. So what do they need to get into the cells? Enzymes to break it down in its molecular form to get into the cells to produce energy. Now, now this is important because you're looking at how disease starts. You're looking at how you Fetre Machetare or your Gandizuma.
The what?
Fetre Gandizuma. That's a new, that's something that is related to monomania. You gotta laugh at the story. There are so many diseases that are in the order. People don't even know. You can't keep up. You don't even know that it's for them. But whatever it is, you know how it starts. You're going to see exactly how it starts. All right? So, the same way a manufacturing plant has a chimney. Do you see they have smokestacks? All manufacturing plants have smokestacks, right? Chimneys. What is that for? To get rid of waste products from the manufacturing process. It produces waste. Well, in the manufacturing of the ATP, it also produces, this manufacturing word is called metabolism. All right? It's called metabolic waste. It must do what? must come out. So the oxygen and the energy goes in and they must come out. So you know what? Let me skip this. Let me just show you. Let me just go straight to this here and see if we could so I could show you. I'll go back to that, okay? Sugar, which is the worst drug on the planet. Heat kills and cooking food are cooked. Let's deal with this. All right. We want to go to what? Cellular health. We live, we die at the cellular level. So if you have a brain disease, you have what? Brain cell disease. Heart disease, heart cells. It is cells that you're affecting. All right, they are 230 bones. This is the person, right? So your bones. So you're 230 bones, 230 bones in an adult. A child at birth has 300 bones. 3 is important, all right? 300 bones. When you go through this 3 and 330, you'll be able to see the importance of that. What happens is that as the child develops, bones fuse. It fuses and it comes down. So it comes down to 220 to 233 bones. All right. So when you look at the skull, the head, the vertebrae, right? And the arms and legs. Okay? Remember, it all depends on some people may have digits a little, it all depends on the person. This between 220 and 233 bones, right? As they fuse as the child grows. But it's important to note that the bones are made up of connective tissue, right? Connective tissue, calcium, and special cells, specific cells related to bones. Those 3 things, 3. Connective tissue, calcium, and special cells, specialty. Now, so these cells, 100 and how many? 100 trillion cells. Everything is a cell. Your hair is cells. Your bone, your teeth, everything is cells. And these cells, for you to have it living, it needs what? Must go in. Now, so as it is manufacturing ATP, it also produces metabolic waste. And there are 3 main ones. So therefore, while you need 3 to get in, you need 3 to bring the waste out. And these are called, they are molecules, right? So let's see here. Life cell level, cells are healthy. If cells are healthy, what happened to you? If your cells are healthy. Now, look at this. These are the things that damage cells. All right? What I want you to do for me is clap your hands for me, please. Clap. Everybody clap, clap, clap hard. Clap, clap, clap really hard. Clap, clap, clap. All right, stop. What's happening? What's happening? Doing what? Burning. Isn't that right? It's burning. What's happening? You are damaging cells. Because that's life. You are damaging. I could see here, right? So when you fall, you damage yourself. Is that right? You got a bruise. When you're out there in the environment, those stuff that are coming out there, it is damaging your cells. Even when you exercise, it comes a time you call it the wall, when they're running, you reach a point where you don't get enough oxygen to the cells, and because the cells not getting nutrients and it shuts down, and you can die there. Or the sunburn, is that right? Sunburn. What is covered is good. The sun burns you. So if you're out in the environment, you're damaging cells. Your breathing is damaging cells because so these molecules that are to help you to get it out is called redox signaling molecules. Redox signaling molecules, and there are 3 of them. Now, so when you're an infant, you have 100%. I had an argument with my professors. Then, but he come to realize what I was talking about. Because, sometimes you get inspiration when you get these things, right? And the Lord gives you information yourself. It makes sense. If you and your wife, you and your husband, no nightlife, no alcohol, tobacco, drugs, you're eating well. When you get a baby, that baby comes out as a bumper crop. Is that right? A bumper. A bumper crop. Tell them what's a bumper crop. If you are a farmer, you sow the seed and you plant and then you harvest. Your crop comes up as perfect. Is that right? Bumper crop. Not crop. Bumper crop. So, out in this environment, you're exposed. That child is exposed to all kinds of stuff. Now remember, when the baby is born, when it comes out, it has no immune system. Perfectly, no immune system. Because remember, the umbilical cord is what gives them everything, right? They get it from the mother. They can't with that. And so there's something that is within the mother's milk. Who remember what this is? Colostrum. That really builds the baby's immune system. Mothers who don't breastfeed are given this. So the child always have what? Colds and fevers and all kinds of different problems. So if the child born with 100% body reserve, let's call it that, right? As it is infected, it's losing that because it has to fight that. And as it grows, the more infected, the more exposure is the less. That's why you would find some people, they are 70 years old and they smoke tobacco and whatever it is. And they go to 80 and 90 and they're going good because they got body reserve that is whatever. You understand? And so based on your body reserve, you will tell you how you will be able to actually get. So by the time you reach, what age they're saying that? I would say what, 70? You yourself. So you. She look older than 70. It's a white lady. Come on. Come on. All right. So even you, okay. The whole idea, I need you to follow me. You have to be like me. My objective is to die young. See, did I talk about abuse? Men abuse? Me too. She's in the Me Too movement. My objective is to die young at a very old age. I mean, have you ever seen those centurions playing? Huh? You ever see centurions playing volleyball and they run and they're doing stuff and they're eating because of how they kept their bodies throughout the years. You want to make sure you set yourself up when you reach there. I want to be. Listen, what is the age the Bible says is man? What's that? Who said that? Who said that? That is who not. Moses. Who else is that? 10. That's David. That's those guys. That is not right. That is So you read Genesis chapter 6 and verse 3. Tell me what it says. Yes. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 3. What it says? Somebody got it quickly?
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years.
That's right. So that is scientifically proven. According to the bell curve, they see that man's genetic lifespan, you have life expectancy. 70 is life expectancy based on the time, the period that you're talking about. People die at those ages, right? They die in 30s, like Jesus' time. The people used to die like at that age. But if God understands that man's lifespan is 120, how long he's going to give Noah to preach? If he give him 100 years, he's not right. You have to give him the full thing, which is what? 120. 120, because that was the expectation of man's lifespan. So we can live it. I want the full time. If I ask God, please, Lord, give me the full time, but don't let me have to wear Pampers. He said, no. So you have to set yourself up now. So these 3 redox signaling molecules that come out. The first thing is this. When the cells produce ATP, triphosphate, it also produces oxidation. All right? So you know what's oxidation? If you cut an apple and you leave it there, it becomes brown and dark. A banana, it becomes, because in the environment, the air, the oxygen produces oxidative stress in there. So you have to manage that, right? And so God provided within the body something called SOD, which is superoxide dismutase. Anything with an ACE is a what? An enzyme. The enzyme to bring it out. You need the enzyme to get it in. You need the enzyme, which is a redox signal molecule, is enzyme SOD, to get out the oxidation. So if you're not able to handle the oxidation within the cells go into what is called oxidative stress. Okay? So once it goes into oxidative stress, the immune system kicks in and it produces inflammation, because inflammation is a process to protect your body, right? Remember, inflame means what? Heat. It's flame. It needs to cool down. So it needs something to go there. So the inflammation is a process, and different things go there to work it out, to really bring it out. But because of the environment, because of all of that, we are constantly overwhelming ourselves with this stressful oxidation. So we're becoming, rusty. If you put in metal in the soil, what it becomes? Rusty, right? So the baby is fully 100%, and as you go, you stay nice and plump, like what I showed you there, right? What's the difference between a plum and a prune? It's dehydrated. A grape and a raisin, is that right? The same thing. So you want to be a nice plum always. I tell you what. Old face. you laughing as old face boy. You like to laugh. I don't want to show you those pictures that I have. It's some stuff and doing that. Oh, it is. We supposed to be, black people are supposed to be smooth, right? Tight skin and stuff like that. Grazing. But when you get real old face, no joke. Real, it's real bad. You don't have to. I'll tell you. So I'm gonna give you this right now, right? Make sure that when you bathe, you go to take a shower, make sure you put oil on your face.
What kind of oil?
So I mix olive, coconut, black seed. I mix those things together and make a nice balm. And and you give yourself, but first I clean the face off. Instead of use alcohol, I use the alcohol pads. I use those. He's a blessing. You give me that one there, the whole thing, along that last thing. When I shave, you rub your face and clean your face with that thing. The hand sanitizer, what? That is alcohol. What it is? You could raise it when I shave. Come on, that's alcohol. What it is? What else is in there? Right. So listen, you clean your face, you clean it off, then you put the oil, then you take a shower because you know what's in the water. What's in the water? The number one element in the water is chlorine. And chlorine is absorbed in the skin, is damaged, it's poison. It helps to break the skin down, right? So when you put that oil, it's a barrier that is not going to absorb the water. And when you finish bathing, you want to give a dry, rough towel and rough your face up. Beat up your face up. Beat up your... That's why a lot of them got to wear stuff to block it off, because you pamper your face too much. Understand this. Why isn't this hair get wrinkles up here? Because it's tight, it's spread out, right? Why your muscles, why your body's like that? Because you're exercising. Does your face exercise? How? So, you have two types of your smile and your frown, right? We frown more than smile. You get vexed, your emotions, right? So that's one of the things. You make sure you got some movies to laugh every day. You have to laugh. You have to sing. And you have to beat your face. Give it 100 times. Slap your face, slap your body. Because you're bringing the blood out. You're bringing the blood out of the skin, and the blood takes away the impurity. If you do that every day, wash your face and then exercise your face all over. Exercise your whole face. No, you're going to get accustomed to it. You're going to thank me, man, after a long time. No. Come on, I'm going to be 73. Wow. Why? I mean, I had old face. Do it, please. Don't be afraid. Slap your face. Rush. Right. Right. Okay. So that's one thing you're doing there. That is the nervous. That's neurotic exercise. You want to do physical, muscular. Your face has muscles, and these muscles, once they get flaccid and stuff like that, gravity taking care of you. I mean, gravity.
Sometimes you can do, because I don't do it all the time. You can do.
Yeah, that's it. All that is it. That's it. You do it. You do that. That's part of the exercise. Not sometimes. Every day, do some of that. Moving out. Exactly. And I give you the exercises. You do 100 up and down, 100 sides, 100 around this way, 100 around this way. So you don't end up with turkey neck. Turkey neck. Turkey neck. This girl, you're bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're bad. I am telling you things as a joke, but you know what? It works. All right? All right. So that's the first is SOD. The second one for the inflammation is glutathione. Glutathione. Right. Glutathione takes care of inflammation in the body, and especially within the cells. All right? Cells do three things. What they do, how many? Three things, right? Cells protect, cells repair, and cells replace. All right? So you protect with the oxidation, the oxidative stress. You repair with the glutathione, the inflammation. And if it cannot be repaired and too much inflammation, it has to be what? Replaced. And cells, after a while, has to be replaced, right? And so these are the things. Oh, I can see it here. That one is not moving. Why the one is not moving? Oh, okay. All right. So these are the reactive molecules, all right, to fight free radicals. And you know that to fight free radicals, there's something called anti-what? Oxidants. Antioxidants. You could be fooled about that, okay? A lot of that is gimmick. And it's all for money, right? Activated these. Oh, okay, I'm here. Okay, did I go back too far? American medicine is on the collision course with the future as a result of steadily rising costs. So you need to do those are two things I said: glutathione, superoxide dismutase, glutathione, and catalase. Catalase is basically cells has to go through what is called natural cell death. Cells must die to be replaced. And if it cannot die, what happens? It mutates and cause what? Cancer. So this is the problem here. All the cancers, because of the oxidation, and the cells mutate because the cells and these substances attack the nucleus of the cell, and then the cell goes crazy. And once it goes crazy, and we have a lot of that, all of us in here have cancer cells. Is that right?
Yes, we do.
Every last one of us. It all depends on your environment and how you eat and how you live. It can either stay benign or it can become malignant. All right? So it's important for you to follow these, okay? All right, so that's the cells in terms of how they produce cancer and all these different things, okay? I don't even think we need to go further than that. All right, so this person, all right, it's important to note here that they are made up of 75% water. Is that right? Where did the earth come from? The earth floated up. Wait a minute. This boy, that's not too nice. All right.
Where did that come from?
And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, of the water. And God formed the waters to form it a heap and said what? Let the dry land appear. And the dry land appeared. So it came out of the water. We came out of the earth, and the earth came out from the water, so we are mostly what? Water. Have you ever seen a person float?
Yes.
You float. What do they have to do?
Lay on their back or lay on their belly.
And what? What's the most important thing? They have to give up everything.
Yeah.
You know, like the Lord says, you give up everything, and you and the water become one. You float in the water. But that is horizontal, is that right? Have you ever seen anybody float vertical?
Peter. Isn't that the truth?
So in the storm, the guys in the boat see a doppy, You see, they thought it was a zombie, right?
Yeah.
And they were scared. Said, don't be afraid. Says, me, Lord. Oh, yeah, Lord, bid me come. So Peter jumped out and he's walking Jesus. He said, yo, boys, check me out. Plunk. He said, check me out. Plunk. But you're smart. Lord, help. And Lord, help him. So the important thing here is that water, everything came from the water. So I always like to argue with them scientists. They're telling you, but the earth, this stone is so many billion years old. And I said, look, your mouth is wanting to call numbers. Call numbers. Billion years. You don't even nobody know because there was water before there was creation. Yeah? The angel, the Spirit of the Lord moved upon the face of the waters. Right? And the earth came out with the waters before there was anything. There's darkness on the face of the deep. Okay? So forever it was there. You don't have no numbers of when it is. Right? But the earth and the things on the earth and man and everything was created in. Well, and everything on the earth. Sabbath is on the earth. Sabbath, right? Okay. So 7 days, all right? All right. So water is that vital. Of all the things I tell you about here, no matter what I tell you, if it's capadula or monkey ladder or granny backbone, whatever bush or herb, aloe vera, nothing heals. What the scripture says, when you read about the scripture, the end of it, what it says, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. The Lord. So we trust is all healing. There's nothing heals. You only have to be obedient and follow him what he says. If I will diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord and do that which is right, he will not allow these things to come upon you. And even if they come, they will have no effect. It may affect you, may come and get you down, but it ain't going no way. It's staying there. You taking care of it, right? Okay, so believe that you are a child of God. But water is the most vital of all of them. So how many nutrients are there? So the nutrients, the oxygen, we see how they cause the cancer. The oxygen causes the oxidation, which deals with the cells and cell, mutation. Now we have the nutrients, how the nutrients become our enemy. And this is where we're going to see how the diabetes comes in and everything, okay? So the nutrients, what are the nutrients? How many of them? 6 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first is proteins. Okay. So of these, only 3 produce this. What are the 3? Proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Vitamins and minerals are coenzymes and cofactors. All right? So when they tell you, go to the store and you see at the checkout counter, you have these vitamins for the boys and, and the girls and the stuff, baloney. All that stuff are nonsense. And be careful. Do not take vitamins and minerals without food. All right? So when people say, okay, I got my vitamins today, so they're going to buy vitamin water. I got my vitamins. You have to eat, right? You get the water. So this vitamins because they are coenzymes and cofactors, right? In the metabolic process, it is called. In the metabolic process, It is called the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle. In that process, so it's using the oxygen with the nutrients, and then it needs the enzyme, the coenzyme, the vitamins, like for instance, for diabetes. So to break down the nutrients, okay, you need enzymes. For the protein, you need an enzyme called protease. All right? For carbohydrates, you need what? There you go. And what is the hormone that break it down to get it into the cell? Insulin. Right. The fat. The fat. So your fats are emulsified, right? And so you need what is called bile salts. Bile salts, okay? All right. So let's look at this here. Let's see how we could do this. This is important, okay? So you go down here. Okay. Okay. So 3. Up here, this is the digestive system, all right? All right. So you have, it's where the digestion starts? In the mouth, all right? So in your mouth, you have what is called the larynx, the pharynx, I'm sorry. The pharynx and the larynx. The pharynx is the throat. The larynx separates. You have here, this is called the esophagus, and this is called what? Goes to the lungs, the trachea. All right? Okay. So here you have 3 glands at the start of everything, right? You have 3 glands. What are those 3 glands called up there? Your tonsils. Your tonsils. You have the 2 palatoid tonsils and 1 sublingual tonsil. The tonsils palatoid. The tonsils produce white blood cells. Okay, so this is the gateway, is that right? This is the gateway. And at the gateway, you have to have your soldiers to protect what goes there. That's what your tonsils do. They protect, they produce these white blood cells to interact, to counteract whoever enemy comes in there. Okay, so we're gonna go to the flu. You want to go to the flu? All right. So let's look at infection. So we have diseases. There are 3 types of diseases, right? 3, right? Sometimes you lose your train of thought. There's so many things that you're processing. All right. So you have acute illnesses, disease, right? Which is what? Acute happens to be infections, whether it's be viruses, bacteria, fungus, protozoa, you know, those things infect you, and you treat it, you get rid of it. Then you have chronic disease. All right? Those from your lifestyle and your behavior kills you bad. Then you have genetic disease or congenital diseases, all right? You cannot help with that. That comes from your grandfather, father, whatever, it comes down genetically speaking. Okay? So remember, we say the 2 things that are responsible for life is what? Oxygen, nutrients. The enzyme helps the food and the oxygen to get into the cells. But these are the 2. So therefore, you start out there with 2 things, right? The tonsils protect before the epiglottis. The epiglottis is what separates in the tonsils, separates it from going down the trachea. When it's open, the oxygen goes down the trachea to the lungs. When it's closed, the food goes down the esophagus to the stomach. Okay? When the bugs come in there, whatever it is, what's the first thing happens to you? You get what? Sore throat, itching, scratching, and that. What's going on there? A warfare, a major warfare. The tonsils produce a lot of what? White blood cells to attack the viruses and the bacteria, whatever it is. And that's the scratching. That's the fighting that's going on there. Okay? So you want to, the instant you start getting that, you want to right away help them. You could help them in three different things. Okay? So let's look at my flu formula. Yeah, did you get that? You get the I give you the list of the things. Okay. So this is the New Creation Ministries flu formula, and you need these things. Right? That's the first thing. Let's see the next one. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. So that's one of the things. Somebody was telling me that today. The lady outside was, the lady at the other church that I was at. She came to me, she was thanking me so much. She says, I went to all the doctors and I got this stomach problem. They give me all kinds of medication and weeks and months, and it's not working and it's not working. And then I remember what you told me about the aloe vera, and she scraped it out. She said, I grow my own tree, my own aloe vera tree, and I take it out and scrape it out. And Brother John, this thing is helping me so much. Medication ain't helping. Aloe vera, stomach. We know this is thousands of years. This has been used. It's a miracle plant. Okay? Better by. Okay, so what I do, I chop it up into chunks, slice off the edges, see the prickly edges?
Yeah.
And then take a nice sharp knife and slice the skin beneath the skin and the gel. The gel is crystal clear. Between the skin and the gel, there's a sap, a kind of a orange colored sap. It's called aloin. That's the most bitter stuff you can think about. When they dry that plant there, they dry it and it becomes like a dust. If they open the jar, you smell it. Oh my, that bitter sting in your nose. In Uruguay and Paraguay, they use that for abortions. That is so bitter, that aloin. Okay? So, but some of that is good because they use it for blood pressure pills. They use it for different things, cathartic pills. So you slice the skin and you get the gel out and you blend the gel. You make a crystal nice gel. It will have a slight bitter in it, but these are the things, the ingredients. Use lemon or lime. I like lime more than lemon. It's like what's the difference between a mule and a horse? One is hybrid, right?
Yeah.
It's a cross between a horse and a donkey. It's a mule. So a lemon is a cross between lime and orange. Right? So in God's sphere of things, it's important for us to be in the original. Do you understand that? It's always, if you are educating yourself and you need to know yourself, you need to always be in the original. You want to stay away from genetically altered stuff. It's bad for your system. Why is bad for your system? We may not know, we may not feel, we do not associate what's happening to us with what we are doing. You understand that? So you do not. But these are important things. How do you know what is an original food? Well, as long as you grow it. So let me just tell you, God, every creator has a label. Isn't that right? You look at your back, you have a label, right? Whether it's Jordache or whoever it is. What's God's label? He's the manufacturer, he's the creator. What's his label? His label is no. A 5-point star. All right? So when you go home, make sure you get a good apple or a good pear and cut it off in half. In the middle, you're going to see a 5-point star. Any fruit, vegetable, anything must have a 5. If it's a grapefruit that has pockets, it must be in units of 5. 15 or not 12 or 13 or whatever. It must be units of 5. And you will be able to know what's the leaf, the flower. It's a 5. Okay? Okay, so that's how you know we are original. What are we?
A 5-star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
We are 5. Okay. So man, remember what I showed you this morning, right? God is triangle, 3 equal sides. The man is triangle, equal size. When you put a triangle in a triangle, what you have? What star? How many points? 6 points. You have a 6-point star. What's that? The star of? Why? Because David is a theocracy. David is a king. His government is a theocracy. It's depending on God's ruling. You always have to have a prophet to tell him what God said. You understand? That's a theocratic government. God and man. Put the star in there. So a lot of the Jews don't know that, what their 6-point star really is. It's a theocracy. It's God, man and God in that star. So that is very important. That 5-point star is very important in anything that is original, that you're not using hybrids. Now, the reason for that is this. If you love a radio station, who likes Pastor Gill's radio station? What's the frequency? Okay, the radio station. You don't know what is the call station? What's family radio? What's 92 point whatever, right? Okay, so 95.5. If you go to 95.7, what happens? You get static. Your body is electrical. It's mostly water and it's electrical charges. It must have the right what? Frequency. Foods that are not original, not real, it's not frequent in your body. So your body is rejecting it. It treats it as poison and it reacts. And therefore, we continue doing that. We are causing all kinds of dilemmas happening to us, and we don't associate it. We don't really realize it. You ever do the strength test? You get whole grain bread and white bread that is void of anything. And you hold the white bread in your hand, and you take the person's hand and you press it down, it's gone, it can't stay up. But the person holds the whole grain bread and they press it down, it's formed. He can resist it. But with anything that is not original, you can't, you're losing strength. These are tests that we will do it in time, but we have to move on. Anything that is not original, that is not pure, your body resists it, and your strength, you lose strength. All right? Yes.
Can I ask a quick question? A slight diversion. Do you have any knowledge, I think it's 435 hertz music, the original vibration. You have any knowledge on that?
No. So all these things, the body vibrates, and there's vibration, healing vibrations and stuff like that, massage therapy and all these different things. You could use those. We will get into that other times and all of that. But this, yes. No, I want to, because I'm going to move a little faster now. So if you have any questions, just ask me. I'm going to wait for the end. Just ask me where the question we're going. This is important because once you deal with it here, oh, did I finish with that? I didn't even finish with that.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where you just said that tonsils are responsible for the production of white blood cells.
Yes.
People who have had their tonsils removed, I
Right.
realize, are always very sick.
Yes. So you have to supplement your diet with things that would help to produce the fight for you. And stay away. Number one, you want to stay away from is sugar. That's the number one enemy of the body. Number one enemy. You take all the drugs, cocaine, marijuana, all of them combined is not as powerful and dangerous than sugar. It's an enemy. I don't care if it's white, red, brown, black, or blue. Sugar. All of them is sugar. All sugar. Brown sugar, white sugar, all of them are the same. And especially, pardon me? Raw sugar. Now, bouillon, if you take the bouillon, you know your molasses comes together and you get a hard sugar and all of that. You can use that. It has some nutrients in it. But it's not good to use too much of it because it's too much sugar and because sugar breaks down the immune system. You understand that? Honey. All right, so let's do this. So you have aloe vera, you have lemon. Lime is always better than the lemon. You have molasses. You don't want Jamaican molasses or Trinidad molasses. What? It's either Bajan or Guyanese. Bajan. Well, St. Lucia got a few farms. I mean, they have farms. They have, okay, it's a place that really produces a lot of sugar. They're going to give you good molasses. But a place that has a smaller amount of production of sugar cane, they're going to give you bun sugar. They give you bun, it's bun, bun sugar. All right? So you want black strap molasses, which is 100% pure molasses. Well, Bajan molasses, there's some black strap comes from Jamaica too. They have cane fields. But you have to go to those places that has the farm and get the raw molasses. You understand? Those places, if you know people who have a sugarcane farm in Jamaica, go there and get to Jamaica. What's the next one? Honey. You want pure honey. Raw honey. Okay? And it's important because you don't know where you're getting. Some honeys come from a honey farm where the farmers feed their bees with sling. You know what sling? Sling. Sling is cooked sugar. You cook the sugar and make a syrup with the sugar. And they put it in the trough and the bees suck up that. And they produce honey that is crystallized quickly. Right? It's business. Crooked. Mass production. Yes. Right. What the flowers, what the bees use and stuff like that. Yeah, that's good. All right. But honey, this is one of the foods that is the purest food on the planet because of how and where it's produced. Right? In the honeycomb, they have what is called, you ever heard of a bee propolis or the honeycomb itself? There is no bacteria of germ can dwell in a honeycomb where honeys are. That's why it's produced in the perfect. Honey does not spoil, right? It stays for a long time and all of that. So you want to get good honey, right? Yeah, you can, and get the good ones too. Not a lot of them, make all kind of production. So peppermint oil is the next one, right? Peppermint oil. So these are the 5 things. And let me see if I go here, I can add. All right, in your paper that you have, your plan, you have how many items there? 6, 7, because it's supposed to be 5. You have garlic and onion to make it 7. So those 5, when you put it, you mix it, a cup of honey, a cup of molasses, a cup of lemon, a cup of aloe vera juice, half a cup of honey, half a cup of molasses. You mix that, you can get a black solution. You pour some of that in an empty vitamin bottle, and then you add some peppermint oil to that to make it sure. You shake it up and you go around sipping it. It will knock out that whatever comes in the throat, okay? Early enough. If it's already going down the trachea to the lungs, you start getting a what? A fever. Why? Because the bugs produce a toxin within the lungs that calls for the immune system to produce what? Inflammation. And once you have inflammation, you have fever. If it passes down the esophagus to the stomach, in the stomach, the intestine, the toxins will produce inflammation in the intestines. You get what is called joint pains. Is that right? You get that joint pains and stuff. You got the flu, or you got COVID. You got COVID-19. Okay. So you want to stop that from happening. You want, if it happens, you want to add the garlic and you want to add the onion, right? So, but then if it's bad and you're coughing up some psychedelic boogers, you know, psychedelic, some green and purple. Boogers, it means the cold ripe. Boogers. Then you want to add cayenne pepper, right? And you add the cayenne pepper there. I mean, the only problem with cayenne pepper is, you know, you got some fireworks. But it works. You bring up that phlegm, man. You see people bring up that purple and blue boogers, man, and it gives you a clear and you really feel good. Trust me with that. All right? Now, as I told you, water is the number one healer of all of them. So you want to, the first thing on rising every morning, I did not bring my glass, is to take, no sir, you want 100% pure, plain, unadulterated H2O. Anytime you put a solution in it, the kidneys has to function. It has to take out the solution, you understand? It has to go through the digestive process. Water should never have to be digested. Water is disseminated and exits and hydrates your cells, your bodies, from the instant you put it in, it starts doing that. It doesn't have to go through the digestive system. But when you put a solution in it, then it has to go through the stage. So you want to use hot water. Hot is body temperature. What's that? 95 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that right? That is body temperature. So it shouldn't burn you. But it must be a little hotter than lukewarm. You don't want to drink lukewarm water. That's nasty. I didn't say that. Jesus said that. Is that right? That's right. You want to puke. You want to, lukewarm water. So you want it a little hotter than lukewarm, and you must drink it straight down. Don't sip it, because you want to practice doing that. As the water goes down, this hot water, it's starting a siphoning. It's pulling along with it the toxins, because you see, when you sleep, you fast. When you fast, you detoxify. You understand that? Your organs are cleaning out and they're regenerating. That's why when you wake up in the morning, you don't want to talk to your husband and everything, you know? You got all kind of boo-boo coming out your eye and white corner and them booger stuff. You know, you don't want to talk. You got to go wash your mouth because toxins come up. So when you take the hot water and you drink the whole, it goes straight to the colon. It doesn't stay around. Of course, the kidneys are going to pick up some, but you want that flushing, and you do that every morning, especially if you have pain and stuff. When you take that water, you feel it's so nice, you know. The amount of hundreds of people tell me about this. I've been doing this about 40 years, talking about this here, and the amount of people get benefit. Do that. If you don't do anything, start that hot water therapy every morning. Hot water, don't put nothing in it. After you could put lemon in your water after. Right. Thank you. Thank you. So she said, brother, the water that you're drinking, is that right? Now, that is very important. Because water is the number one healer. Water is life. Water does not have, water is life. Because life came out of the water. That's life. I could wow you here today to show you the power of water. If you have a cistern or a container with water in a home, and that home is infested with argument and backfighting and sheer what negative stuff going on in that home. Everybody is all negative fighting stuff and grinding at each other. That water is being affected. The water is being affected. If you take the water and put it on a microscope, you're going to see the water molecule. Okay, it's like a snowflake. You know how it goes? It goes nice, pretty format. If you take that water where you have animosity and all the stuff in the home and it's affecting, and you put it on the microscope, it's crazy. Look at it. That is science. That is known. Water is that powerful. You know? Water. You know how many wars are being fought over water? You know, there are places people don't have no water. Could you imagine what happens to young ladies or ladies don't have water to clean themselves in places in the world? And they're fighting this river. They want to cut off this river from going here because water got to go. And there's so many wars. It's going to happen right here too. Water. So it's very important to understand that all the things that we use here, water is the number one. Healing. Okay? Please take that serious. Okay. So now we understand here what is this now. So the nutrients, we're still with the nutrients. We say sugar, carbohydrate, everything that you eat converts into sugar, right? Glucose. So the glucose is the metabolic, the metabolism of glucose is called glycolysis, right? And so from the proteins, it will produce the glycogen and stuff, as you're saying, to get that. So that sugar has to start processing up here in the mouth. That's why they tell you when you eat, you must do what? Chew your foods, because in the chewing, there's a gland up here called the salivary gland that produce amylase. Is the only enzyme that breaks down the sugar before reaching the stomach. So if you don't chew at all, you're swallowing food. You know, if you swallow food, it goes into the stomach, mixes with hydrochloric acid, and that hydrochloric acid mixes that and makes it super sweet. So when it gets here, this short piece of the small intestine called the duodenum or the duodenum, whichever one you want to call it. This is where from the liver, you have what is called the common bile duct that goes in here. Then here, I'm not doing it right. So here is the liver. You have a common bile duct that goes in here. And here, you have what? The pancreas that has a pancreatic duct that goes in here. This one here brings what from the liver? Bile salts. All right? So you have the, what's the gland there on the liver? Where the bile is produced. Right. The gland that comes off of the liver. The liver. I lost my friend. It's going to come back anyway. Here, the pancreas produces insulin and protease. The gallbladder. Right? So the gall is the bile salts. Okay? That comes in here to do what? Emulsify fat. The carbohydrate protein comes from here. So this is where it is actually digested here in the part. Then it goes to the rest of the intestines, to the ileum valve, the ileocecal valve, which where the small intestine joins the large intestine. So, okay, so let me see here. Which one I can rub out? Which one I can take out? Okay, you can take this out. Take out the star. Okay. All right. So, so we want to get here, ileocecal valve. Okay, so okay, what's this now? This is called the colon, right? Right. So you have the small intestine here, and then it goes into the ileum. This is the ileum area. What is at the bottom of the colon here? No. The rectum is over here. This is the This is the appendix. Okay. So now, if you have a cistern or a vat, you may call it in your, the faucet for the vat, is it at the bottom of the vat, or is it a little bit higher than where it is? Right? So you see, the waste comes in here and it has to go up, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, rectum, sigmoid, anus. Rectum, sigmoid, anus. All right? Okay. So the waste, so if you are not chewing and you're not getting the proper enzymes to break down the sugar, it's so much sugar. This thing is so sweet here. Comes in here, the pancreas have to overwork. Is that right? The pancreas has to produce a lot of insulin. And if you have too much insulin, the cells are going to resist it. And it's going to call what? Insulin resistance. And once you have insulin resistance, you're going to have, what's the other word? Sometimes you lose your train of thought.
It's insensitive to taking the sugar over into the cells.
Right. Right. And so you have the other one is the cell barrier shuts down and it does not allow anything to come in. Okay. Well, the insulin resistance, but then you have the cell. The other word is not coming. I'm sorry. But it's going to come. All right. So what happens is that the sugar remains where? The sugar remains, is not going into the cell. It remains in the bloodstream. And you have what? You have diabetes. So it's true. That happens to me. I as I said, I worked in the Amazon. And when you work there for months, and there's no dentist coming and you get that, you got to wait, and when they come, it's rotten teeth. The doctor comes, you don't have no cocaine, no thing. You're just pulling it out. So you guys pull out, you get it's breaking up and they're coming out. So I end up with no teeth. You bad, You bad. Are you gonna laugh at me? So I also have a problem with chewing. So I used to have a lot of gas, a lot of digestive problems because you're not getting the enzyme. You're getting the enzyme. You ain't got no teeth. Man, let me tell you something. I remember, Ronnie, we have a health summit that is held in Orlando every year. So I was preaching at a Filipino church. And I like to sing, right? I love singing. I forget my poly grip. You sing. So diabetes is not only about your blood cells, it's about your teeth. Also, you have to chew your foods, but there are foods that are not whole. You can't chew it. It bounces off your teeth because it's rubber. It's like it's no form. You understand? There's no hole. There's no the grain is not good. So that food you have to swallow. And so that's one of the problems with people because they don't swallow the diabetes is improved the most. Okay, get a lot of diabetes. So there's a lot of things more for that. But mostly important, this here, right? Your colon, disease begins in here. Because what you go in must what? Come out. And if it doesn't come out, there's a backup. And some people have some serious backups. You know what I'm telling you? Like this little girl went to the next door neighbor. The mother sent her to the mother. Is your mommy in? Yeah, she's in the library. I mean the laboratory.
She's in the outhouse.
Just the people, how long you gotta stay in the bathroom when you go in the bathroom? Until you finish. That's why you need books. And give us a library. She's in the library. Man, let me tell you something. In the jungle, right, in the Amazon, our bathroom is a tacuba. A tacuba, a fallen tree. You know, you get up on that tree and you do your thing, you clean up and the animals do the rest for you, right? So I'm accustomed to that, you know, squatting. But when I get back down into the metropolis, I go into the bathroom, I gotta do the same thing. So somebody comes and see the bathroom is occupied, but they see no feet. But do you know in France, most of the public bathrooms are like a pool where you squat, is that right? That is the natural way to use the bathroom. Who invented that commode? That is a wicked thing. That's why you have people with so many colonoscopies and colon problems. Colon sitting. If you're gonna sit, you gotta use your bathroom like a gymnastic, right? You get the rings, you know the double rings? So when you sit, you hold your rings.
I was watching Shark Tank, and this mother and son, they invented something so simple, a stool to put
Right.
your
Feet
on.
on, right.
Millions of dollars for
There
a
you go.
simple concept which we already knew.
Right.
But I guess America, the Western world didn't know it. So they put your feet up so your colon could really.
You could your position where you're gonna be. Or I see some places now have real low toilets. It's low instead of the high toilets where you sit down your foot up. You know, it's kind of hard for your body. Yes.
What about incorporating a colonic in
Your home.
activities of daily living?
Okay.
A colonic, what do you think about?
All right. So here's the point that I'm getting here at. There are two types of waste when you eat. Two types of waste. There is watery waste and there is slimy waste. If your foods were whole grain, fruits, vegetable, you drank water, and everything is whole, your waste is going to be watery. You go into the bathroom, 3 minutes and you're out. For less than 3 minutes, you're out. The stool, it's loose and you're gone. Most people don't eat vegetables and fruit. They don't eat whole grain. Everything is white rice, white sugar, white flour, white meats. Everything is slimy. The work of the colon is to absorb moisture from without and moisture from within. It's the last stage of getting rid of the water from the whatever waste it is. The water that comes out there. All right. So if you have slimy waste, as it goes out, the moisture is taken away from the slime. The slime becomes paste. Is that right? As it moves up, moisture taken away from the paste, it becomes glue. Moving across, moisture taken away from the glue becomes gum. Moves across, the moisture taken away from the gum, it becomes rubber. 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 If it takes away the moisture from the rubber, it becomes balata. You know what's balata? Balata. When you cut the trees, you get the milk and you make that balata before they make the rubber, to make tires, that is the product from the tree. It's a hard rubber. And as the moisture is taken away from the balata, it becomes concrete. Yeah, I remember our son, James. Joshua, Johnny, James. Which one? Joshua, Johnny, James. All right. So we were at Andrews University in Berrien Springs, Michigan. And James came down with a whole set of heat. It's called heat. That's what you call it. Little rash, heat rash all over his face and his body. Right away, I know. So I asked, did James go to the bathroom? No, he's not going to the bathroom. So I gave him a colonic. And as he was passing that top, the thing's hitting the thing. When you take it, you break it, it's like sand, because we are feeding him with soy milk. And the soy, when it takes away the moisture, it becomes like sunny, soy stuff like that in his car. So he was constipated. And he was so glad that colonic cleared him up. Man, that thing just went away. Colonic.
But what kind of color?
A colonic is a high enema. An enema, or an enema, affects the lower part of the colon, the sigmoid rectum area. A colonic goes around the entire colon to wash it out. You have to put them on to lie on it like a board, and you use an insert, a rectal insert, tube, and the water comes on, and he's going around, you massage it, goes around, and wash it out. That's a high enema. And why talks about that is good. We put different things in the water. You put coffee in the water to deal with the liver. You put different things in the water to wash out, to clean out. We do that. And so the idea here is this. The colon is about 5.5 feet, maybe 6 feet if it's Abdul Jabbar or one of them boys. Long colon. 2.5 inches in diameter. All right? The idea is that if you have slimy waste that turns to rubber and gum, as that waste leaves the colon, it's leaving a coatation on the walls of the colon. Right? So it's 2.5 inches in diameter, right? And it's leaving a coatation over the weeks and the months, and it's building up and it's building up and it's building up. And in some places, it's built up as black, right? They have what is called stricture. You go to the doctor, what's the solution for stricture? Huh? Snip. Yeah. Colonoscopy. Right? So people end up with a bag, a colonoscopy. Lots of people, colonoscopy bags. That doesn't have to happen. We could get rid of that with the colon. We have a 7-day colon cleansing program where for 7 days you don't eat foods. You just eat a dietary liquid supplement. And we use grasses because grasses is not toxic. That's why cows can chew on it all day. It's not toxic. We use wheatgrass, barley grass, all these different grasses with different things, vitamin E, vitamin C, to give you your supplements to feed your cells so that you're fasting, but you're not destroying your cells. Your cells are being fed with the nutrients, right? For 7 days, and you use a cleansing formula, something called bentonite or montmorillonite, which is volcanic ash. The volcanic ash is a mineral that has that. It adsorbs, not absorbs, adsorbs toxins. So we use that along with psyllium husk, which is a thing, and you take that 5 times a day, 3 hours apart, and and with that it softens up and loosens up, because within the colon, there are circulations, right? There are circulations in the colon, and within those sacs there are built up stuff that is built in there that causes, if you strain, and you strain when you use the bathroom, it stretches the muscles and you end up with polyps and and these hemorrhoids and different things. And those, based on your diet and your stuff like that, it can become cancerous, and that's why people have colon cancer because of that. So this thing cleans out for those 7 days, and you have to do a colonic because you're not eating food, so you don't go naturally to the bathroom. It would waste all this stuff, and you have to do an enema every day to bring it out, to wash it in warm water with different things in the water. And after those 7 days, it's like you're on cloud 9. You clear your mind out, everything's cleaned up for 7 days. You clean yourself out. We used to think to do that 3 times a year. Now I do it over the years. We used to do them, and you see the stuff coming out, that stuff. If you take a picture, what's coming out, all kind of yachting boots and komudi, them are anaconda snakes and stuff coming out there. Some serious stuff built up over the years. You think that you are healthy, eating good, healthy? The amount of stuff that is built up in there. Some people got some pounds, man. All of their weight is in the colon.
But the machine, because I do it like once or twice a year. They have a machine now. When they do it, it's a glass thing. You see, you're so interested in what's in you.
Not realizing it's happening.
You see what? You see all kinds of mucus and things coming out. And I'm fascinated.
Where? What do you do?
There's an office in Rockaway and one on Queens Boulevard. Rockaway, I went to a lady here. I'll tell you about it later. And she's pretty good. She used to work for a colon specialist before, but I either use her or the one in Queens Boulevard in Queens. But it's fascinating. I mean, it's like, what does this thing mean? And it helps you to eat healthier. When you see
Right. You have to, not it helps you.
No, I don't want
You
to.
have to, because with me, if I don't, I get all kinds of problems. Because your body now, remember, the Bible says you can't put new wine into old wine skin because it bursts out. You understand? So it's like when you get baptized, you feel that there's a halo coming over your head, and all of a sudden you come out of. No, you still got all your itis, all them different things are still in you. You cleanse spiritually. No, you need to do a physical cleansing to put the new stuff in your body that you want to live with, right? I had to. My wife always used to tell me about I would still eat eggs and fish that was coming down from, I don't eat meat, period, but chicken and fish. So I had to come off the chicken, and then I was with fish alone and eggs, make my omelette with different vegetables and stuff in it, but still. Then I checked, my cholesterol went up. And now the cholesterol went up, and you get more joint pains because of you understand, the waste and the stuff. When you clean out, you have to be cleaner. If you don't clean, your body tells you. All right? So now, as I told you, I want to live 120 years, and you can be healthy, looking good, but a person could be healthy going to hell. That's why I tell you the importance of temperance, right?
Yeah.
Without temperance, you can produce academic scholars, but if they are not dealing with the other part, they can be scamps, like Donald. All right? So it's important that we understand that if we want to live that long and we want to free ourselves of anything, we have to adhere to these different things here, okay? So you can do the colon. I did not finish that thing, man. Let me see. Let me see if I still have the rest in there. Is it going? Oh, it's just the mixture? That was the last thing. I had also, it's important to have charcoal in the home. Every home should have charcoal. Activated charcoal, which is the grounded up powder that activated must be dissolved in water, right? And so that does not prevent, that protects. There are people who took poison just to show you how charcoal works. And then take the charcoal that absorbs the poison. So if you have to travel any country, anywhere, going there, you know you're going to drink water, you're going to do whatever, make sure you have charcoal. The next thing you want to make sure you have is that you have in your hand there. You put a tablespoon in an 8-ounce glass of water, slightly warm water, lukewarm water, and you drink that at night. No matter what poison you got, food poisoning, whatever it is, you take that spoon, you're going to see tomorrow morning you get up, it's gone. Or if you have to do it 2 times or 3 times, it takes away whatever it is. That's why for my COVID, it lasts me 3 days, 2.5 days. I know that I got it because I got the symptoms, I got the chilliness and all of that, and I made sure that I didn't lie on my back. I made sure that I wasn't sleeping in the bed. I got up and did the exercise, do the breathing exercise, and then I took the stuff, the silver. See that? Let me see that.
The mix of the pamphlet?
Yeah. Right, that's all right. This is yours. This.
But I didn't have that one.
What? Oh, some people didn't get.
We only get
Oh,
that.
so everybody get this here. Every home should have this in their home. Now, this one that is here for the immune system is silver biotics. You know that in silver, in the old days, they used to have silver in the wagon trails in the water because it protects from whatever pathogen in the water. This kills every known pathogen on the planet. The government is using this for biological warfare, for anthrax. So I'm gonna send a video. I want you to one day, Pastor, to show the video of the silver biotics so you can see what it does, how it heals. You know the SARS. You know SARS. MRSA. You know MRSA is a flesh-eating bacteria. We'll show you the people with MRSA how it's healing with this silver. Right? Ebola, all of that. Chikungunya, all those things in the Caribbean. This silver. Now, I used to have this selling for, this is a 10 parts per million, selling for $50. A 16-ounce bottle will last you for a long time. I didn't walk with it. You know, in the 99-cent store, there's like 3 bottles, plastic bottle. One has a spray and one has a different things. You ever see those? Yes. So I put that in the spray bottle. I walk with that everywhere, and you spray it on your face. If you anybody cough or anything, every morning I spray that on your face. And it has a gel also. I put the gel on the face before I have to put then I put the oil as I talked about. Then you put whatever to protect yourself. And that would protect you all day. Anybody with a virus or whatever it is, protecting you. But anything, you drink that ounce of this. But what I got is this. I just got this. I just ordered this. And this is the same. This comes now in this red box. It's immune support because it's 30 parts per million. The other one is 10 parts per million. This one works. This is what we do for this. But this here is much more potent. You understand? It's 30 parts per million, 16 ounce. This is what I got from the developers of it. And guess what? It's the same $50 that I got it for in terms of that. Okay? You get it. You can get it from me. Order from me whenever you're ready. Okay?
Okay, so I want
Every home should have one of this. Every home should have this, the charcoal in the home. Because if you get down with anything, the charcoal is going to take care of the inflammation, poisoning.
Yeah, the question, the silver biotic, what is the natural source of it? Is it from the charcoal or
It's silver.
it's just
Silver.
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 That's right. It's no, not mercury. Quicksilver is mercury. This is silver, the silver mines. These guys were silver miners, right? And they developed the science, this structure to bring the molecule of the silver down to a nano silver. You probably heard of colloidal silver. A silver is a colloid. A colloid is a suspension of the substance and fluid and liquid, colloid. But it can be toxic if you leave it for a long time. It settles at the bottom. If you use too much colloidal silver, you get what is called the blue man syndrome. Your tissue would get blue like or something like that because of the toxins of it. This is nano. You know what's nano? It is the smallest particle, silver particle that, okay. So if you go into an operation room, over the operation table, there's a lamp. They call it what? The blue lamp. All right? That blue light. No pathogen can exist under it. That's why it's there. All right? This is far more potent and more protective than the blue lamp. You take a tablespoon of this in your cells, it goes into your body. It's like you have blue lamps in your body moving there. It kills anything, well, you're going to read it here. Read the stuff. I do this every day.
What time?
In the morning, I take it, and if I have it in the spray bottle, if I get anything, you do like this. While you're breathing in, you're spraying it, and then you spray it in your nose, you pull it up, okay? And I do that every day, protect yourself and goes down, all right? So that's the one thing for the COVID. The next one is the ginger. So you get pure ginger powder. The powder, ginger powder, and you take a little tip of it, and you put it there, and you pull it up. My gosh, that is garlicane. Garlicane. It will burn you. You feel that burn and get it, but you have to take that, and it eases up. You are protected. Remember, the COVID lurks in, as I said, the two parts, right? The two parts in the throat up there is the larynx and the pharynx. The larynx, you know, you have laryngitis, right?
Yeah.
So you have the nasolarynx and the orolarynx. The orolarynx goes down your esophagus. No, I mean your esophagus, yes. To those. And the nasolarynx goes down your trachea to the lungs. Okay? The virus stays in the nasolarynx, in the back there. That's why they put that thing all the way back of your nose. That's where it hangs out. When you take that garlic, that ginger, and pull it up there, knocks it out. You do that daily basis, COVID would have no effect on you. So that's a protection you want to make sure you remember. The next thing you want to do is steam. The boiling water, the steam, you do the same thing with the steam. And with the steam, get that steam in there, kill it out. All right? Those are the things. And of course, there's a list of things that you normally would get. Echinacea, you know, oregano. You going? What else? Right? Yeah, run the list of it and make sure every day you do that and build your immune system, you know? You don't have to worry with COVID. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't boast about this, but I don't like to say it. But we can't take vaccine. I cannot take a vaccine. I would die. I don't care. I tell them, I said, listen, you crazy? I cannot take a vaccine. But I promote vaccines because I'm a public health practitioner.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because in the public, if everybody goes infecting people, it's the more spread. The more spread is the more variants, and the more variants is the more deaths. You understand? So there's people, and you go all the way back to vaccines. Now, my wife, bringing James, the first one. When he was born, he was 2 pounds 11 ounces. He was doing some acrobats in the what you call that little thing there? In the incubator. The nurse said, "What is on the wife scene with this?" He's doing some stuff in there. That was no joke. But James now. But she was bringing him from Caracas and got him a vaccine.
Oh, biggest mistake in the world.
Boy, he got a seizure. So I told her, do not tell the airline. Make sure you get him on the airline. He came, took him to Kings County Hospital. It was winter. And they run him all the tests. They run him tests to see if it's, meningitis, whatever it is. And they put him on phenobarbital. I don't know if you know about phenobarbital. Check it out. It's a bad drug. You could not take him off that easy, off of phenobarbital. But he was getting all the shakes, the seizure. Eventually, that thing that you saw, what's that leaf called? Aloe vera.
Wow.
You blend that gel, put it in a funnel cord and strain it to get, filter it, put it in his nose, let him breathe up in his nose, and he would, every time I give him, he wanted because and his air. So his ear, nose, and throat give him that high fever that caused the seizure. And that's what that's what took him off of that phenobarbital. But that was how old he was? Maybe a year, or a little less than a year. Never had a vaccine. So James is 42 years old. Joshua is 37. And Johnny is 36 years old. Never had a vaccine. So all throughout their school years, I produce a letter saying that we are, of religion.
Yeah.
Not that we are anti-vax, but we are
Religious
but we are for religious purpose, and they just can't do it, And so they have never had it. And so, we can't. All right. But what? You have to live healthy. You have to be obedient to the health life if you want to go about, And everybody took a vaccine, right?
No. Yes, maybe. I don't know.
Yes, maybe. No.
I take the back.
I don't take it.
I have my back.
All right.
They say if you don't take it, you don't take it. So,
All right. So I don't. That time is right there, right?
Yes.
It's right
yes.
2 times a day.
It's 6:33.
The time is saying 9 o'clock.
No, that one. Digital.
Oh, the digital one. 18 hours. Man, you're a military in here or what?
Yes. Because of you.
So listen.
So you have to come back again and start.
Yes, we will eventually, come back and deal basically with the colon mostly, and any kind of a cancer that you may have to show you be a part of preventing cancer or curing cancer. All right? So I thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.